Nathan Dean right now, Bloomberg Intelligence senior policy analyst. We're watching on our screens Pamela Jo Bondi go through the confirmation process for Attorney General. We saw yesterday Pete Hegseth seemingly soar through his confirmation hearing. Does it look like Trump is going to do well, at least on these first two?
Yeah, what we've been telling our clients is, first off, a lot of these hearings are about personality, not policy. But, in terms of the personality argument, just yesterday, Pete Hegseth, I think, had a fairly successful hearing. For him in particular, it was up to Senator Joni Ernst from Iowa. If she were to come out and say no, she would essentially sink his nomination. She came out yesterday and said yes, giving a lot of other Republicans who weren't sure about this pick political cover. But I will say that, when it comes to the Senate GOP in particular, you can't reject them all. I mean, there's all these, there's some controversial picks out there. You're only going to really fight on one or two. And we saw Matt Gaetz withdraw from the Attorney General. So I think if there is one pick coming up that I think could face a rocky path, it's Tulsi Gabbard over at the DNI, the Director of National Intelligence. But a lot of these others, like Senator Marco Rubio, who's testifying right now as we speak, he should be sailing through the Senate no problem.
So, Nathan, we've got about 5 Senate confirmation hearings that we're keeping an eye on here, that you're keeping an eye on. How are Democrats reacting to this? Are they trying to save the fight for later? Are they really trying to hop in and bring in some opposition? What's going on right now?
Yeah, it seems like the Democrats are trying to figure out what their strategy is, and they're picking and choosing their battles. What I mean by that is that you do see some Democrat openness, and even yesterday in Pete Hegseth's hearing, you didn't see a ton of the what I would call the news bite moments, or the the moments that are trying to really score political points here. I think the Democrats are saving that for maybe Tulsi Gabbard and so forth. But if you look at RFK Jr. in particular, his hearing isn't around yet, but we've seen statements from Senator Booker, Senator Sanders, Senator Fetterman, if not supporting RFK Jr., at least open to the idea of him taking a position. Gone are the days where you're going to have all these senators appoint these nominees 100-0, but you are also beginning to see the Democrats move away from just total opposition to maybe a little bit more complex position of, we'll be open to some ideas, not for others, but we'll wait and see. And again, I think most of these nominees, minus maybe Tulsi Gabbard, should get through the Senate to the president's desk.
Wow, even RFK Jr.
Yeah, obviously, there was a lot of discontent, I think, amongst Democrats, but we've seen statements from Senator Fetterman, Sanders, and Booker, in particular, signaling at least openness to this. And what I mean by
that, isn't he against the polio vaccine?
Well, and that's a lot of things that they're going to ask him in this hearing is, are you going to be against these vaccines? And, I've seen statements from RFK Jr. in particular say that, maybe if it comes out to the point where if he's demanding vaccines to be curtailed, that's one thing. If saying that he's going to not stop the vaccine from being put in place, that's another. But I will say that this is just openness. It's not a vote. And what I mean by that is that Democrats are trying to figure out a way right now, based upon the results of the last election, should Democrats move to not just blanket opposition to Trump's policy, but try and pick and choose where they think the American people are. And in this case, I think you're going to see Fetterman, Booker, Sanders in particular for the RFK nomination say at least that, maybe we're not going to just come out there and put you through the public gauntlet, but they may not vote for him anyway either.
All right, Nathan, great to get your take on this. Hope to talk to you again soon. Nathan Dean there.